It's not about the food. A Woman's Guide to Making Peace with Food and Our Bodies by Esther Kane. And Esther joins us in the studio now to talk about her book. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks, Sophie. Nice to meet you.
We've been talking about this morning. If it's not about the food, what is it about exactly?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Well, it's probably easier if I tell you why I wrote the book.
Yeah.
Basically, women are at war with their bodies. We know that 80 to 90% of women dislike the size and shape of their bodies. 70% of women in Canada are on a diet. And more girls and women fear becoming fat more than they fear dying.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And there was one stat in here as well. In the U.S., 7 to 17-year-olds are the heaviest users of diet pills?
Yes.
How do you even get a
Alarming.
diet pill at that age?
I know, it's alarming. Unfortunately, it's often passed down from mothers to daughters. So,
right.
Yeah.
Because the mothers have these issues and
Yes.
and the daughters learn
Yes.
from their moms. Well,
Yes.
you talk a lot about your own personal experiences in here as
Yes.
well. So start us off with that. How
Yeah.
did you
Well,
deal with food growing up?
Well, my mother's a food writer
Yeah.
in Toronto, and I grew up with a lot of food mythology. My mother is into gourmet food. My father was vegetarian, then they were divorced, so I would go from one house to another,
Right.
and the food mores were very different at each home. So I was very confused at an early age and put on my first diet at the age of 8.
You were put onto your first diet.
Yes.
Someone else put you
By
onto
my
it.
grandmother, who feels bad
Right.
now about that.
Yeah, well, you talked to her about it.
Yeah.
So from there, and can you guesstimate how many diets you've been on in your life?
I don't know. I can't even count, but I've tried every food regimen out there and done everything. I've had anorexia and bulimia. I nearly died of both. So I've had over 17 years of solid recovery from an eating disorder. And this book is for those women, the 95% of us that aren't genetically predisposed to be tall and skinny. And for the yo-yo dieters amongst
Right.
us, not for severely ill people.
Okay, so how did you manage? You said 17 years, and I know that you,
Yeah.
in your book, you say you're not entirely recovered, nor will you ever entirely
I don't
be
believe
recovered.
that's ever really possible. But basically, I say that when you have an eating disorder, it's like it's driving the car and you're in the passenger seat. And when you're sort of recovered, more recovered, you're driving the car and it's in the back seat.
Okay, so it's always with you. But
Yeah.
how did you overcome it to the extent that you have?
Well, it's basically the tools that I lay out in the book
Okay.
are, and you can get the book at endyoureatingdisorder.com. And there I basically share what the tried and true tools that I've been using myself personally and professionally over the last 12 years.
Okay, let's talk about some of them. For one thing, you say diets don't work. It's like
Diets
just
don't work. No, they don't.
period.
Yeah,
Done.
no. 95% of dieters end up regaining all the weight that they lost plus 10 pounds more after each diet. Yeah.
You probably experienced some of that yourself.
Oh, yes,
I would
yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
You talk about something called mindful eating.
Mindful eating.
What
yes.
is that?
Well, mindful eating is a wonderful tool for eating with awareness, slowing down and being present basically when we're eating. We often eat distractedly, and even people without eating issues eat distractedly.
Yeah.
Like they eat when they're in their car, watching television, reading the paper, when they're having an argument. It's just being present with your food and enjoying food, eating foods that you like, eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're full, learning your body cues for fullness.
It's the fullness that gets me. Like I mean, I
Right.
love food, as our viewers will know, we talk about it on the air so much.
Yeah.
But I love it, and then I don't even notice when I get full because I
Right.
keep eating. And I think you
Very
need to
common.
stop, right? You need to
Yeah.
stop and just
Yeah.
take a breath.
Yeah, and it's all about, it's sort of a meditation actually while you're eating. I talk a lot about meditating with food, and
Right.
that's just slowing down, being present and noticing your body signals and really noticing when you're full. And you learn that over time. You just need to practice it.
You also talk about the relationship between stress and eating, and how
yes.
even if you are eating properly, if you're stressed,
Yeah.
there's still an impact on your body. I guess that kind of goes to
Physiologically, actually, when you eat, when you're stressed, your body doesn't even signal that it's eaten. So your body will actually continue to want more food because it doesn't even know the difference between fullness and hunger at that point when your body's really stressed.
So even if you are following a fairly healthy, and I was going to say the
Yeah.
word diet, but if you're following
Yeah.
a fairly healthy method of eating or practice of eating or menu.
Yeah.
If you're not relaxed, then
and that's precisely why it's not about the food,
right?
Because it doesn't matter what you're putting in your body if you're not in a good state when you're eating it, and you're not mindful of what you're eating and how much you're eating and feeling good about that. It doesn't make any difference.
You have homework assignments in here as well.
Yes, lots of tools in there and lots of homework. It's basically a self-help book, and it's a journal type format so that people can sit down and do the exercises and really work through their own personal issues.
Thank you so much for coming in, Esther.
Yes,
It's
my
Not
pleasure.
About the Food, A Woman's Guide to Making Peace with Food and Our Bodies by Esther Kane. There is the website for the book. It's notaboutthefood.net. And there's Esther's email, too, if you'd like to send her an email, say hello, or ask her a couple of questions. Congratulations.
Thanks so
I know
much.
it's her third book?
Yes, my third
Book, actually. And she's from Courtney, Christy. So we've been to Courtney. We love it there, don't we?
Yes, we certainly do. Thanks so much, you guys. Our small town feature this morning is not